Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, so it's going to be a bonus general message. So this is the storyline where we just kind of go and see what happens. It's not zodiac specific, but I usually start this out with an anecdote, something real that happens. Usually about my dog, but I will say instead, sometimes these things happen. I just turned 44, and like the following morning I had a root canal, and the just a big old the filling just popped right on out. And I was like, I don't know why that felt like momentous, like, oh my God, I'm falling apart. Turn 44 and here it all goes. It just crumbles. um Thankfully there's no pain or anything, but I'm gonna have to go have that fixed. But yeah, it just is funny that that's maybe the way something starts, something I don't know, maybe the bottom drops out of something. Now, the Hierophant is here, so that actually would talk about if anything drops like that, it might actually be the universe drops some serious knowledge. It drops some wisdom on somebody. The Hierophant can be the connection to one's higher self, a belief system, like an awakening. It can be a marriage. This card is upright, though. Maybe somebody suddenly goes, I want to marry them. That could be what dropped. It doesn't have to be a negative. Something falling could be a blockage that falls. Sometimes something that was maybe not the greatest work falls apart, and then we go, oh, okay, I get it. That wasn't the greatest thing. Maybe this is instead. Wow, we have Justice. We have the Chariot. Holy smokes. Okay, so we're rocking three major arcana here. That Hierophant, it is marriage. That Justice it is time to leave something that was completely unfair. It is time to go where things are fair. It is time to follow one's heart. So we have got Taurus, we've got Libra, and we've got Cancerian. And you can see that the big old caddy is like driving over the bones of the past, headed for, I want to go over those mountains. I want to go someplace else. I need to go. Somebody could be leaving in the middle of the night. This is in the middle of like a television program. It's like, this could be very serendipitous where somebody is watching the TV, possibly sitting right next to somebody, and whatever's on the television like is so true for what they're actually going through. I mean, keep in mind these are fictional stories, right? But this fictional character could be sitting there watching a television program, sitting right next to someone that they're in a really, I'm going to say, pretty toxic, pretty unfair connection with. And it's like, it's so revealed. It's so obvious. It's like right down to the detail. It's like, you know what, to see it acted out by actors, but that's my life that I've been living. And I'm not really living something real. And I'm not really, I've got my head in a bag. I can't even see my own life. We're not happy. We don't want to be together. This is miserable. And all I want to do is go. We're at tension all the time. And we're seeing it, characters play out our life on a program. That might be the final nudge that, it's like they get up at the end of the TV show and go, you know what? I'm ready to call it. Are you ready to call it? And it's like, yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I think it's over. It could be, I mean, we have one parrot upside down and the other one upright. So this could be finally, it just clicks. And maybe it's because somebody is realizing, watching their life played out. There's Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. Maybe there's a little element of that, but instead this Aries. Instead, this is like they're watching a television program instead of hearing a song. Come here, Mr. Good Boy. You good little protector, you. Hear him snorting around. We have a 9 of Cups. Good baby. Good protector, baby. We got that 9 of Cups upright. Somebody wants to go be happy. They are leaving for happiness. In fact, maybe this is the first moment of happiness that these characters have had. I do feel like on that Justice card, we have two people and they are turned away from each other. It has been difficult. And I feel like two people are agreeing, yes, let's call it. Let's be done. And it's like, oh my God, it feels so much better that we just finally admitted it. Wow. 8 of Swords. We're holding each other back. We have been for a long time, and finally there's clarity. Finally, we are happier not being stuck together. This is like the anti Huey Lewis in the News song. Yes, I'm happy being stuck with you. No, they weren't. That's just it. They were very stuck. But this whole cobra, coming up to like bite them, it was almost like nobody knew who to broach the subject first. So this is two people that have wanted to be done with each other, but didn't know who was going to say it. And they might have lived in that weird limbo land for quite a while. Do you want to come up and say hi? No, okay. He just needed a little pet. The fact that we have this clarity and this happiness now, I feel like this is a massive relief. I feel like the further these two get apart from each other, the better they actually feel. The more clear it is that this was the right choice. My God, we should have done this a long time ago. Could be a King of Swords who is like, finally, I don't know if this has been thought about for 40 days and 40 nights or what, but this has needed to be over. This has been an ice cold place. We have a 10 of Pentacles. We have the Last Judgment. We have the Ace of Coins. I got to say, I don't think that this King of Swords has ever felt better. This feels like finally there's the ability to like reconcile with the fact that they needed to start their life over from scratch, from the ground up. No money is important enough to stay together when it doesn't work. Nothing is worth staying where you're not actually happy. It'd be better to start your life from absolutely nothing. Phoenix rising from the ashes. Move forward from the ashes and you'll still be happier. You'll feel more abundant than you would if you stayed in some big old house sitting night after night next to somebody who doesn't want to be with you and you don't want to be with them. This is a blissful ending. I mean, these two people are in the same boat, man. They want out, but nobody knew how to say it. Huh. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so tell me so this is falling because it needs to. This needed to be over. This needed to be done. Tell me about the other half of that equation. Emperor, 3 of Cups. We already had a third party starting on the other person's side. I feel like this is practically the story that I had last night, honestly. Whomever this character is, we see the King of Swords is the one who's physically leaving the premises and they're really happy. But we see the other person who's like, they haven't known how to broach the subject that, hey, I do not think these two have kissed or hugged in a long time. She's turning away like, oh, actually, there's this emperor that's really gorgeous that I'd rather be kissing instead of you, King of Swords. Honestly, I've already been talking to them. I've already got plans to be with them. I just haven't known how to broach a subject. She's already been checking out of this connection. That King of Swords was ready to check out of this connection, but they had been married, is what this says. But it's over. But it's so good because it's a relief and everybody's ready to go. Okay, so the fact that we know where she's headed, she's going towards some kind of an emperor. She got some other plan for somebody, but where is King of Swords? Where are you going? We can see you're just happy. You're really happy to be leaving. You're really happy to start your life from the ground up. You're really happy. I mean, that Judgment card is Scorpio energy. They could be headed for some kind of, oh, how funny, they're going toward their Empress. So these people were married to the wrong people. This King of Swords was married to some feminine who wanted to be married to some emperor. They wanted to be married to some Empress. No wonder on this Hierophant card, we actually have 2 parrots. It represents the wrong relationship and then it represents the right one. Sometimes characters end up with the wrong people and both of them were just with the wrong people, and it's not a tragedy unless they stay with each other both wishing they could be in someone else's arms. It's interesting because we've seen them, I was going to say with the Judgment card, because it can be about reconciling. They might be knowing exactly who they want to reconcile with, or it could just be that they're saying, I don't even care about the money, I don't care about anything, we both have to separate. Whatever it costs to go through a divorce doesn't matter. In fact, it could be very amicable and I don't care. I'd rather start my life with almost nothing it would be better than staying here. They might literally drive away on a motorcycle, since we do have that on the Justice card. This could be like, it doesn't matter to them as long as they're going. But now we see that they actually are going toward an Empress. So let me ask about that. Do you already know who this person is? Hi, everyone. Great to see you. Knight of Wands. So they know who she is. They definitely know who she is. They may have already popped in and out of her life once upon a time. But there was a big old red light. They had, I'm not saying, I am saying, there was cheating here. There was cheating here, but or there was the desire to cheat, but it couldn't go anywhere with that red light. The Hanged Man. No, it might have just been the desire and they couldn't act on it because it was always like, I don't know how I could move forward. I don't think I could move forward. I don't know how to, exit this other connection, but I've met somebody that I think is amazing, somebody that I, kind of like salivate over, somebody that is forever on my mind, but I don't know when or how I could go toward her. Tell me about Empress. Empress, 5 of Cups. Ooh. Okay, so these two had, the King of Swords and the Empress had something cooking, because the Empress has a 5 of Cups here. And we have these characters that are, getting married over here, but then it morphed into like a death scenario. So it's like the death of a dream. And she was left with some kind of a broken heart, and she was kind of like the sacrificial lamb. So the Empress, I'm going to say that because they chose to stay in a marriage, even though they wanted to be with the Empress, but they did this huge Hanged Man thing, the Empress has been pretty wounded. Seriously, are you going to be able to just go back and race your motorcycle to the Empress's door? 7 of Pentacles. After all this time, here's the thing. They didn't do something that they couldn't do because they weren't the person they needed to be yet. So regardless, 7 of Pentacles is passage of time. Yes, but it's also growth. Growing to the point where you could finally say the truth, finally say the thing that needed to be said, finally, exit a chapter of life that needed to be exited. For whatever reason, they had a big old procrastination energy. God, and we have a 7 of Cups. So 7, divine numbers. When my question was, are you really going to be able to hop on your motorcycle and just drive over to the Empress's world when she seems to have been the sacrificial lamb? To me, this says, I don't think they've talked to her in years. And they don't have a clue how they're going to start talking to her. It might be a long motorcycle ride to get toward her, though. A long, long, long drive where they got a lot of time to think about things. Tell me about the Hanged Man on their side. 5 of Swords. Ugly ending. Silence, frustration. Whatever happened, man, it's collapsed. Ace of Wands. All that passion turned into anger. Queen of Coins. Queen of Pentacles. So likely, I do think there must have been the physical connection here, but they were in and out of her life really swiftly. And then it was all of these like delays, and the delays weren't obviously, like, the Empress character was not oblivious to the delays. That is very much the energy of this anger, this frustration, this vibe of, I think she probably closed the chapter, but she might have done it kind of big mad. But what's interesting is even if she did it big mad, she's still the Queen of Coins. She was still like generous. I'm almost wondering if she gave them some like peace of mind, but it was like real frank, like the best advice, even if it was rude. Even if she was angry when she said it, she may have actually still been generous with like laying it out, detailing it out. Like, So here's the scenario. You're in and out of my life. You haven't figured out what you're doing. You're ghosting, or this is me saying I won't talk to you unless you figure yourself out, because you can't just choose passion without, like some element of responsibility of what you're going to do with it. Otherwise, you're going to waste your life's energy. Like, she may have said it to them. And she's come out as an Empress and as a Queen of Pentacles, both upright. So even if she was big mad, she still said things that were true, that were real, that were not said out of wrath. So I feel like she actually gave them some kind of like valuable input of like, do you really think that this is going to be a legacy that you're proud to have? Passion with nothing that you backed it up with. Like, I don't think for a minute that she didn't know that she was important. But on the other hand, she also wasn't having any of this in and out energy. So this Empress, like, I would say her self-respect has always been intact. And even if she was mad and hurt, still the words that she spoke were extremely like on the nose, but were actually like a gift. It wasn't anger, it wasn't hatred, is what it sounds like. Okay. So as far as this connection goes, as far as the Empress is concerned, Two of Pentacles, she's got this vibe of, I'll figure it out when it arrives. I'll figure it out when it gets here. I'll figure it out if I don't know what this person's really going to do. They haven't done anything with clarity yet. So I don't need to wonder and worry about when they're coming forward, if they're coming forward, or what my reaction shall be. Two of Coins is that's, it's up in the air. You don't count chickens that haven't hatched. You don't assume anybody's going to do anything when so far their behavior has not been to move forward. So she's kind of unconcerned. She might be wearing emerald green today. We have a Two of Swords. Boy, the biggest thing is, in her mind, she kind of thinks that they are somebody that there's too much opposition with. She might think that they're pretty sly and that they like to be that way. And she already says, if they come toward me acting like a fox again, if they come toward me wanting to remain where they are, and it's kind of like, okay, if they've already been unable to make decisions for themselves and they've been in and out of her life a little bit, she had to kick them out because of their lack of ability to like close chapters and make confident decisions. She may think that they're rather sly, and that might be her opinion of them. Like, what if they're sly and that's how they operate? Meaning, if they were in a connection but cheated with me, then who's to say they wouldn't also cheat on me? I don't know if this is a traditional like cheating situation. It looks like there's a lot of gray area in this, but there's something here where she says, I don't want some sly whatever person. High Priestess. This is a sticky situation, and it's hard to define because we have the High Priestess. There's a subconscious energy. There's been distance. There's been a bond. There is something here that is very hard to quantify. There's an intangible link. Maybe it's because it's a past life bond, for example, but it has not been handled with dignity. It is kind of the way I think it comes across. And she seems to, even though I think she's already been a participant in some kind of, lover's connection. I don't know if she was not aware of it because she's in white. Like, there's something pure about this, and she still is an Empress and a Queen of Pentacles upright. I don't know if they didn't tell her the full situation, and that's why she sees him as a fox. Queen of Swords, man, she definitely, it's like everything. I have completely different boundaries up with them now. Completely different boundaries. Universe, let's go over here and say, give her one message here, because I don't know what's the advice to her in this. Six of Wands sideways. This storyline is, we're not going to get like an answer of like, oh, they're terrible, stay away from them. We've already established that this is a difficult connection because there's a subconscious element to this. There's an energy bond to this. There's more to this story. Everything is not so black and white. But as far as the advice to her, it says, what does success look like? If she doesn't feel like this person is genuinely trustworthy, if they're just somebody who wants to have their cake and eat it too, or tried to have, if they are inherently foxy and not straightforward because they'll try to take the route that's easiest for themselves, then could you really have success with this person? On the other hand, if this is a connection, a situation where it's a lot more gray territory, and it's not so easy to say, this is good, this is bad, you're a liar, I can't trust you, then again, what does success look like? We have the Empress. The only way she can handle this is from an Empress's position. So an Empress isn't going to say, well, I love you, I want you, I feel this inexplicable bond with you, everything was a train wreck, there's a lot more to the story, but you didn't handle it right on the first time around, so screw you and screw me, and we just have to hurt for the rest of our lives, that we can never be together. She's not going to do that. But she's also not going to say, okay, no worries, no need to address anything. Oh, you're back, you've finally left the marriage that I didn't know you were in until you'd already started something with me, come on home, lover. She's not going to do that either. This says, Page of Swords, it's finally time to just start getting to know one another. If this character, the only way to know if there is like a level of redemption or maybe who are they? Was it the scenario? Was it the situation? Is there more to consider here? Could she take them back? Would she want to take them back? She doesn't really know this person. She doesn't know what they're made up of. So what does success look like? That all depends on what she discovers. This is very much in her hands as to whether or not she even wants to give this person the time of day to get to know them. But what direction it goes really depends on what she finds out. But she has to first begin by asking herself that question. If she wouldn't want to invest with this person, period, then there's no point in this. She doesn't need to talk to them again. She doesn't need to do anything. If there is an element, though, I mean, she's only going to engage in battle with them. There's really no point. If there's no way she would ever consider any explanation like, no, what you did was heinous. You did it because you're selfish. I don't care if you've changed. I've already seen a side of you that's unattractive to me. I couldn't fall for you again. Then she'll let it go and she'll move on. This storyline doesn't seem to be that, though. This storyline says she would need to figure out who they actually are, get to know them, get to know what the situation was. There's a lot of unanswered questions on this with the Page of Swords, a lot of information that hasn't been sifted through. And for her to get the answers to what do I want to do, and even maybe for her to understand, it may not be about them getting back together. It might be, we have an inexplicable connection, but as I get to know them better, I will be able to understand, I get it now. Maybe there's, eventually she could look at them as like, you're more of like a lesson for me, or you're a soulmate, or I was here to help you learn something, but we are definitely not going to be together in a romance. Sometimes what you find out on down the road, if you're super open-minded to, there is still this connection. I don't know what it means, but I also haven't liked what I saw of what happened with the two of us. So I would still like answers to all of that. And I won't know unless I'm open-minded enough to just get to learn who you are. We can't understand the shoes somebody walked in unless we can walk in them. But again, she doesn't need to do this. Only an Empress will know what the Empress wants to do. But I would say she has so many unanswered questions that if this character is headed back into her world, she's going to at least get the answers to those questions. Who are you? Why'd you do this? Why'd you act like a fox? What were the circumstances? What made you tick? What made you do it that way? And this isn't like to condemn or to yell. This is just simply to like kind of comprehend. I don't get what went on here. I don't get why you handled things the way you did. Was it fear? Was it selfishness? Are you somebody who likes drama? Do you like to lie? I don't think she has those answers. I think this was a connection that leaves so much to still have to be sifted through. The only way to do that is to maybe, if she wants the answers to this, she'll have to go ahead and deal with it. when they are approaching her, and they certainly are in this one. All right. I am going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much. Really good to see you guys. Sorry, guys, I'm scrolling through. Hey, Echo. Hi, Fran. Sindhu Shankar. Hi, honey. I know, Anonymous Angel, I feel like the same thing. I feel the same way. Hey, Amani. Right back at you, darling. Homesick for Hill. San Juanita. Black Butterfly 25. Hey, hey. Homesick for Hills. You should have been named Saint San Juanita. San Juanita. My partner would have a lot to say about that. My heart is very given to my partner. Voyager 2, hey. But thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for the little dog prints. You guys, thanks again for hanging with me today. Happy Sunday. Hi, Joseph. Nancy, how are you, sweetie? Shout out to London. All right, you guys. Lots of love. I'll see you guys again later. Mwah. Take care for now.